Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We review anything and everything. Today we're getting into the Anker 5 series. This is a portable battery charger. You can pause the video to read the captions for yourself. Fast charging, 18-month warranty. The name of the brick is, of the battery charger is Anker 533 power bank. And this says PowerCore 30 watts. So the main reason why I purchased this was because I don't really have a huge need for a battery bank for my phone, because most phones nowadays last a long time. And I do have a really nice Anker charger for fast charging when I'm on the go. That's actually this right here. Um, but the reason why I purchased this was actually for my laptop. Now, I wanted something that would power my laptop. I have a MacBook Air, and I wanted something that would be able to power that while I'm on the go. On those small moments where you might be out and about, maybe you're sitting in a coffee shop, maybe you're out at a park and you're trying to do work on your computer, and you don't want to try to have to find an outlet nearby. Maybe you're sitting in a coffee shop and the outlet is not convenient for you to reach while you're sitting where you're sitting. You don't have to get up and move to a different spot just to get an outlet. This is a 10,000 milliamp battery pack that does 30-watt charging. So for anyone who's familiar with the MacBook Air, 30-watt charging is what's needed for that to run. Now, don't mind the sound in the back. I'm cooking something. Now, let's jump into what it comes with. Now, all of these come with, I had a battery pack from Anker many years ago, over 10 years ago. And they came with the cushion case, which this one comes with as well, though it doesn't fit very well, to be honest with you, because it seems like it's a little more, this bag needed to be a little bit more long than it is wide, but you still are able to shut it and then still hold the wire in it if you want. But just a little minor gripe in terms of the way it fits. You have your basic USB-C cable, which obviously nothing special, but obviously they have to supply that. They don't supply a battery brick, so be mindful of that, of where you're charging and how you're charging it. If you have something that'll charge it quick. This just comes with your manual and basic instructions. There's nothing else in it. Now, I took it already out of the packaging because, hold on, we've got another little manual over there. Okay, this one's for support. This is the manual. Now, the reason, sorry about that, the reason, you guys, why I took this out in advance, besides for wanting to really test it out, is because I wanted to really just see if it was able to charge the MacBook Air, just plugging in and seeing if it will be able to charge it. Now, one thing I found out at first when I did it, I said to myself, it doesn't charge it. I'm going to return it. I watched a review on it to see if it actually works. And what I ended up finding out is you actually have to leave it plugged into your MacBook Air for roughly about 2 minutes, give or take, maybe, a couple seconds off from that. Could be a little less, but generally speaking, somewhere almost close to 2 minutes for it to acknowledge. I guess it has its kind of IQ, smart intelligent charging going on in there. We'll go over all the ports on the break in a moment. But essentially, you got to give it a moment to kind of adapt and understand what it's doing, what it's charging, maybe even to understand that it's not charging off of the laptop, whereas it's charging the laptop. Because keep in mind, nowadays, these ports are not distinguished between input versus output. And that's the same with this. You use these two ports, the USB-C ports, to charge the battery pack. You also use them to output power into your phone or another product. And that's the same thing with the MacBook Air. The same port that you use, the USB-C port that you use to charge it, if you had the USB-C cable connected to a brick and a wall brick to charge it, is the same port you would plug a USB-C port in, a USB-C cable in, connect it to your phone and now charge your phone. So you see how you're using the same port to do the opposite effect. And I think that causes it to now have to understand what it's doing. So when I first plugged it in, I was bothered that it wasn't charging. The fact that it takes 2 minutes, you're not going to usually sit around that long to realize that. So I'm letting you guys know on this video right here, this does charge a MacBook Air, but you got to give it 2 minutes to sit for a while. And if you unplug it and plug it back in, you got to give it another 2 minutes to understand that it's trying to charge your MacBook Air. So that's a really important part I want you guys to know, because I was on the borderline ready to return it, because I bought it because I only needed it for the purpose of charging my MacBook Air on the go and in a pinch, and it wasn't doing that job. So I said to myself, what's the point of me having it? So it does do that. I want you guys to know that. Now here goes the ports. You have the two USB-Cs and you have the USB-A port, what sometimes they call legacy port, because for all those older devices that use that, and there's still a lot of devices that use that, whereas for the purpose of charging, you have a lot of things with USB-C, but a lot of times too, you'll have USB-C on one and USB-A on the other end. A lot of people still have cables like that because that's still considered, like, I want to say, the more universal kind of setup. So that's why that's important. Now you press the button here on the side, and then it will give you a percentage. When you are charging, what it will do is it will give a, let me see if I can show you guys. So if it's charging here, my phone like that, it tells you how long until you still have it changed, to tell you how long until it's full. Now, my battery is 31%, and it's doing fast charging. So, on the Samsung phones, it will tell you, I don't know if this is all Android phones, but it tells you how long until fully charged. My phone says an hour and 12 minutes from that 31% until fully charged. And what this is saying is, at this rate of charge, you have 2 hours and 46 minutes before this would be dead. I think that's just indicating at its rate, not when this one will be full, because this will be full faster than this is telling you. I think it's just telling you at that disperse rate, this would be empty. Now, in addition, you can tap the button twice. It went into sleep mode. Hold on. Tap it twice. Okay. So now you see that little dot. That means that it went into trickle mode. What that means, and see if it affected. No, it didn't affect my the how long it takes. It says on the phone that it's charging, but trickle mode is really for those smaller devices, like say earbuds or something of that sort, that you don't want to use all that power for like fast charging. So that's essentially what that's for. So it's more of like a low level mode. It will extend how long this thing lasts, including just a device that doesn't need that much juice. It's not sending out that much juice, so it doesn't overload the current. That's mainly what it's for. And other than that, that's pretty much the device. It's a little bulky. There are some that have that more flat profile, a little more wider, but they're a little more flat profile, similar to a phone. So it's like having a second phone. I honestly will say that I don't mind the size of this if your intention is because you're powering a laptop, because obviously at that point you're carrying your laptop with you. Maybe your laptop, you have it in a carrying case that has like a additional pocket above it, because a lot of laptop cases will have your zipper pocket on the side, which you put the laptop in, and another kind of little pocket on top that you would be able to zip and then throw stuff in. You'd be able to throw this in there and then have that for while you're on the go. So I don't mind the size of it, because usually this is not going to be something that I feel you would choose for the purpose of powering just your phone. If you're not buying this to power up a laptop, I would tell you go for smaller ones, because you have the same amount of milliamps, 10,000 milliamps, on thinner ones that are probably better for fitting in your pocket. This specifically, I feel, is a little bit bulky, because you're going to be powering up your laptop, and specifically a low voltage laptop like the MacBook Air. So if that's not your target, I would tell you don't purchase it. If your target is to power up your laptop, then I would tell you go for this one. So I feel it's very specific. Some people might say, well, I want it anyway just because it charges very fast. It'll do fast charging guaranteed. And I'm sure there are other ones that do fast charging that don't have to necessarily be 30-watt output. But nonetheless, for someone who wants fast charging on their phone, I guess you could go for this as well, even though, like I said, I believe other ones would also do fast charging that aren't necessarily 30 watts. But 30 watts is obviously going to be a very fast charge, but also it's because it charges your laptop, specifically MacBook Air type of ones. Maybe, who knows, those kind of Surface Pros that are very thin. I'm not sure. If you guys are familiar with that, throw that in the comments. Anyway, as always, you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.